Former Oilers player and now TSN 1260 host Jason Strudwick on the line this afternoon. Struds, what's happening?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you doing this afternoon.
No problem. Nothing but time.
You know, first of all, I find your show on 1260 very interesting. You cover a ton of topics from from former players' perspective. How did you end up doing the little radio gig?
When I was getting near the end of my NHL career, you start thinking, okay, what now? And I love to talk, so I think that's a pretty important area for the media business. But also I love sports. Obviously hockey is my primary focus, but I love all sports. And, I get to talk about really whatever I want on my show. And obviously a lot of Edmonton Oilers hockey. That's a huge thing here in Edmonton. But, it's a cool thing to get into. I follow the game closely. I still do a lot of stuff in the game, and so it's fun to be a part of the game, even so you can't play.
From a former Oilers perspective, what is your take on the current Oilers roster?
Well, I really like what Craig McTavish has done, and he's tried to add pillars to the lineup, guys that are predictable in what they give every night. So that's a Perron, that's a Ferentz, that's a Gordon, even Luke Gadzik. Very predictable what you're going to get from him, and I expect he'll continue to try to do that this summer. Obviously, I think the defense needs an upgrade, and it's not so much that the guys I have are not good enough. It's just that they need some top end guys. So they have a lot of kind of middle to bottom pairing guys. They need some top end guys. And when I look around the NHL, the top teams playing in the finals and the Stanley Cup this year, they have top end D-men. It's hard to get them. Most likely what the Oilers are going to have to do is settle for some more kind of middling guys and hope that one of their young prospects develops.
Your take on Dallas Eakins?
Dallas Eakins, the young coach, trying to learn his game, just like Craig McTavish, two rookies at the position. So a tough time for the Oilers. They have so many new, inexperienced guys at their roles on and off the ice. I played with Dallas, a very nice guy. I think he's going to be a good coach, but he's learning on the job as well as teaching these young guys. So there were some learning curves last year he had to go through, and I hope he learned, I expect he learned a lot of those lessons. They'll help him out this year.
Why do you think playing defense is the toughest job in hockey?
Oh, it's getting harder and harder. You look at the time. They have no time. The puck now is they dumped in. They've got to go get that puck under pressure. You can't hold up to your partner. They're coming full speed, coming to hit you. Very, very hard to make plays, and you're expected to make plays. That's the crazy thing. They want you to make plays, and it's almost impossible. So, young players got to learn how to get back, make plays quickly, give themselves a chance, and relieve pressure out of their own zone by that first quick, crisp pass. I remember my first year in NHL. It wasn't easy, but it was a lot easier than my last year. It was so fast, so quick. Goalies can't play the puck. It's really, really hard position. And you look at these Oilers; they have so many young prospects, and I think they're hoping that maybe two or three maybe make it to the NHL, because it's such a fine line between being a good American League hockey player and being an NHL player.
Your take on the playoffs right now? Are you surprised the Habs are doing as well as they are?
Boy, am I ever! And I guess two guys you have to give a lot of credit to: PK Subban and Carey Price. Absolutely playing just dragging that team with them. Carey Price, at the outset of the series, they said if they're going to win, Carey had to basically win 3 or 4 games himself. He's won 2 by himself, it's been amazing. And PK Subban continues to roll up points, and he's really kind of tweaked his game. We just talked about D-man, and he's been very good offensively in his career, but now he's learning to be, no one to take chances, no one to jump up, no one to not be a risky player, to not give up that timely bad goal against him. He's done a great job, and I still think Boston wins this, but that prediction is looking worse and worse after every passing game.
Again, we got former Edmonton Oiler and now TSN 1260 host Jason Strudwick on the line. Jason, you got a defenseman camp coming up May 17th and 18th. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, when I stopped playing, I was asked by a lot of different families and teams to come on and work with their young D-men. And, I was like, well, okay, let's see what we can do. So I started putting together, and I saw holes in these young men's games. And I'm not being critical of parents or coaches, but it's a hard position to learn. So what I try to do is I get the kids out and I work on specific areas that have weakness for these guys. This is from Adam all the way up to midget. And one of the areas I really work on is angling and being in the right position. You watch a guy like Ryan Suter, Minnesota Wild, incredible player. Not the fastest guy, but he's always in the right position, so he doesn't have to be fast. Nick Lidstrom was the same way. And I'm going to try to show these kids how to be in the right position, how to use your stick positioning to make the game easier, so that you do have more time and more energy to make that quick first pass that's so important in the game of hockey.
You know, you were one of my favorite defensemen, one of my favorite players with the Oilers, and I got to ask, why did you retire, man? We still could have used you this season.
Well, I don't think they thought they could use me anymore. I was, you know what, I knew my last year, and I'll never forget the moment I knew I was done playing. We were playing the New York Rangers, and this big guy, Brian Boyle, come behind. And 5 or 6 years earlier, I would have my gloves off before my chest even got off the glass. And I remember he hit me, and I just turned around, looked at him, and I think he was thinking the same thing. And I just looked at him, and I thought to myself, it's not worth it. And I skated away. And I went home that night, and you know, I had a beer by myself with my wife, and I just say, you know what, I'm done. It's because you just don't have that fire anymore. You know, and I was lucky that I didn't have to fake it for all those years. But that last year in Edmonton, it wasn't a fun year. I didn't play much, and the team wasn't very good. And I just knew in my heart I was done. And you know, I was very proud of my career. I had a lot of fun and met a lot of great people. And because of those experiences, now I have a great job like I do now.
I don't know if you've seen it after every Oiler game when you would hit the air, the hashtag Bring Struds Back would hit Twitter, and you never really replied to that, but that's just kind of the overall feeling of some of your fans out there.
Well, thanks a lot. It's nice to hear, and I was so lucky in my last few years to come back and play my hometown, and you know, I was a huge Oiler fan growing up, obviously, with all the Stanley Cups, and it was a special, special time for my family. Now, we didn't win on many games I'd want to, or any playoff rounds, but I really always was proud to be an Oiler. And you know, now I get to do my stuff in the alumni around the city, helping out different events and different charities. So I'm a very lucky guy, that's for sure.
Hey, if people are interested in taking part in your D camp, where can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can check it out on jasonstrudwick.com. All the info is there. We have one. Like I said, the long weekend of May, and then we have a week-long one in the summer, August 18th to 23rd, and that one is they'll be off ice there, and Dave Peltier's helped me again on May long weekend. This one as well with some skating for the guys, a very good skating instructor. So, you know, it's just D-man. We do encourage forwards to come out because you learn how to play the defensive side of the game. Same techniques used for forwards as defensemen on the defensive side of the puck. So it's a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. And the kids all have a good time, and so it's a good experience. So we'll see you all on May long weekend.
Again, that is jasonstrudwick.com for more information on the May 17th and 18th D-Man camp. Struds, before you go, I gotta ask you about the Oil Kings last night. 2-0 win against Portland. Do you see them going all the way?
If you would ask me that Monday night, I would have said no. You know, I'll tell you what, that Portland team is so good. And I talked to some guys I know that coach on the other side in the Western Conference. They said, we're not sure this team can be beat. And, you know, they sure gave the Oil Kings all they can handle down in Portland. And then, you know, I've been around this team. I see what they're made of. They're just gritty, and they're some good leaders. Give me some good NHLers, and they showed everyone why this team's been successful for 3 years straight. And now we've got a great series. I mean, it's the best of 2 or 3. A tough place to play in Portland, there's no doubt, but they have one game back here in Edmonton, so they got to find a way to win one in Portland. I think the big issue for that will be 2 guys. Tristan Jarry's got to build a wall one night and have a great game. And then Curtis Lazar. He hasn't really exploded offensively in this series. He's the best player in this series. He's one of my favorite players, not in NHL. I mean, the Oilers would kill for a guy like this. But I still think Lazar has a game where he goes crazy, maybe throws up 3 points. So it's going to be a good series. And really, hockey, I'd suggest you go and check it out Sunday at 4 o'clock at Rexall will be Game 6.
And Mitch Moroz is going to be a beast, too, in the next few years, eh?
He sure will be. I mean, the Oilers fans can't wait. They need a guy like this so bad in their lineup. Yeah. Mitch won't be in the lineup next year for the Oilers, but you know, I'm hoping, you know, a year to 3 years from now, he can develop in his time. He's got to get quicker, but you know what? All big guys moving towards the AHL and to the NHL, they all have to get quicker. So we're pretty excited about what he could bring to this organization.
Struds, we got to get you back in here in the near future and talk more hockey. Maybe in the summer, we'd love to have you in, man.
Give me a call anytime. I'm always ready to talk.
Hey, thanks a lot, Struds, for calling in.
Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
That is Jason Strudwick, former Oiler and now TSN 1260 host. Jason joined us on the line this afternoon from Edmonton.